Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Absolute frickin' clowns, man. We're once again going through the same stages of desperation for the Democrat Party. They've officially run out of ideas again, and you know what that means. When the Democrats hit a wall on their phony scandal rhetoric, they always pivot to the next laziest thing imaginable until the next phony scandal pops up, or the next event that they could twist and manipulate into a phony scandal. And so I guess it's the ebbs and flows, right, of Democrat rhetoric. Well, we're at that low point now. They've got absolutely nothing going on as all their narratives have collapsed. And so here we go again. It's time to declare Donald Trump unfit for office. It's time to use the 25th Amendment. Yeah, they're once again trying to give Donald Trump the Joe Biden treatment, I guess we could call it at this point. The first time was because Donald Trump walked down a ramp with leather-bottom shoes slowly, and now they're calling it based on a 15-second clip of Donald Trump seemingly dozing off a little bit during his nonstop global tour. Yeah, it's really bottom-of-the-barrel stuff, but there's some pretty deep-seated hypocrisy in all of this, as you can imagine. So let's have that conversation, shall we? We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so the Democrats, they got their damning clip of the week. This is what's making headlines in the world of leftist independent social media.
Mohammed bin Salman is saying we need a resolution on a Palestinian state. And I don't necessarily recall several years ago, pre-October 7th, as that being a demand that he had necessarily stated publicly.
Donald Trump appearing tired after what, getting 4 hours of sleep and globetrotting, making massive deals for you, working 25-hour days. Yeah, after all of that, Donald Trump falling asleep in Saudi Arabia is the big talking point, the big clickbait headline. It's the dumbest attack line yet. I mean, Trump is everywhere.
What happens on Thursday if President Putin doesn't show up in Turkey for the talks with Ukraine? What will you do?
Well, I don't know if he's showing up. I know he would like me to be there, and that's a possibility. If we could end the war, I'd be thinking about that. Now, tomorrow, we're all booked out. You understand that? We're all set.
But you move. He goes.
You are here tomorrow. And so we have a very full situation. Now, that doesn't mean I wouldn't do it to save a lot of lives and come back. But, yeah, I think they're thinking about something. I don't know that he would be there if I'm not there. We're going to find out. Marco's going. And Marco's been very effective.
Doing summits, signing deals, holding impromptu pressers on the tarmac, or on board during his presidential flight, he's engaging across the globe. And then, of course, Biden, in comparison, needed a freaking cheat sheet to answer simple questions. Pre-approved reporter questions, I might add. But now Democrats want to bring it back to age, as if people are stupid enough to fall for that. I'm pretty sure most people at this point have acknowledged the fact that Donald Trump is not just an active president, he's an absolute beast. He's a legendary workhorse. But this is what the Democrats got. And as you could imagine, already, like clockwork, it's backfiring. Once again, the Democrats have egg on their faces, as just a day later, someone on the House floor notices Democrat Congresswoman Debbie Dingell looking a little tired on the House floor and decides to film it, and would you look at that? A Democrat politician working not even anywhere close what the president's doing with his rigorous schedule, completely knocked out on the job. Who knows, maybe she had lunchtime cocktails with Nancy Pelosi. But come on, Democrats want to have this conversation? Democrats are the nursing home party, the party of Jerry Nadler pooping his pants on TV.
Work on this subject, not part of this package, but part of preserving our democracy. With that, I'm pleased to yield to the distinguished chairwoman.
The Democrat Party is the party of aging fossils, so stuffed with Botox they're starting to look like the garbage pail kids. Yeah, that party thinks they could get away with using age as an issue. Absolutely frickin' not, especially not after 4 years of covering for Joe Biden. Sit down, please. And actually, speaking of covering up for Joe Biden and sitting down, I just need to dedicate some time to our CNN buddy, Jake Tapper. Absolute sleazeball. Yeah, this guy's trying to bank millions of bucks off his pathetic little book about the story that everybody missed. How could we miss it? How could we have not seen it? Joe Biden's declining health. He wants to lecture us on what went wrong in the world of journalism. Him and his little buddy Alex Thompson here on X are trying to rewrite history. Putting the Lara Trump interview aside, Tom Elliott's video is full of deceptively edited clips. The truth is, both Jake and I were covering this, and he plays this.
Will you pledge that if you're elected, you will be transparent about your health, all facets of your health, with urgency so that we know.
Yes.
One poll shows that almost 2/3 of Democratic voters want a new nominee in 2024, and the top reason they gave was your age. You know, that's not a good number for President Biden. 2/3 of the American people say he's not sharp enough to be president.
Yeah, I mean, how can you use the bully pulpit when you don't have a bully you can put in the pulpit?
Okay, so you're part of the 23% of adults who are not concerned about the president's ability to be president because of his age and stamina. I mean, I know incumbents in general are not popular right now, but do you ever think maybe we should have a new candidate?
There's a little bit of denialism with the president.
This is a particularly bad week for this report and its comments about President Biden's faculties and his memory to come out, because twice this week he has acted as if he, in 2021, spoke to European leaders who have been dead for years. Part of the job of president is having the confidence of the American people in your faculties.
The White House's response every single time it has come up for 3.5 years has been to deflect, to gaslight, to not tell the truth, not just to reporters, not just to other Democrats, but even at times to themselves.
The heart of political power in the United States now preparing for the history-making, norm-breaking, disruptive comeback of one Donald John Trump.
It wasn't just that Republicans rehabilitated Donald Trump, but Democrats, including most especially the Biden White House, gave him an opening.
He mentioned it a couple times briefly, just glancing over it. He took 2 seconds to ask his panel members about a poll that showed public perception on the issue of Joe Biden's health, and that somehow exonerates him. The President of the United States was quoted as meeting with British royalty and having farted in their presence, and it was described as a very long-winded fart. The President of the United States required nap times, called a lid during the entire presidential campaign, could not exist without a teleprompter, 2 shots of adrenaline, and frickin' note cards, stumbling all over himself, literally falling over multiple times, couldn't walk, was shuffling so much that his staff had to build an entire new Oval Office set for him, a White House set, to do media events because they couldn't have wires in the Oval Office because Joe Biden couldn't walk properly, and so there was a risk that he would trip on the wires. And then, of course, just the gaffes.
We're not allowed.
There's been a response.
If they have to pay out $159 billion
And the bipartisan infrastructure again.
We are the greatest manufacturing county in the world.
And to implement democratic.
The Ministry of COVID.
With the COVID, the project. Well, how do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world?
But Jake Tapper didn't talk about any of that. No, he just took 2 seconds to mention a couple times public perception of Biden. Give me a break. You don't get a pass on this one. And the reality is, if these absolute clowns actually did their job, Joe Biden would have never been elected in 2020. But yeah, now these people want to lecture us on the issue of Donald Trump's health and looking back on what went wrong in journalism in the Biden era. Give me a freaking break. Sit down, shut up, don't want to hear it, keep it to yourself, and also try to keep up. Because as you guys are once again going back to these pathetic, totally disingenuous attack angles, Donald Trump is literally running laps around you, and you're about to be left in the freaking dust. At least that's the way it looks. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.